It's time for Waking Up with Wesley. Today's forecast and weather-wide discussion with WLOX First Alert Weather Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams.
Waking Up with Wesley is sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.
Well, good morning, South Mississippi. Happy Thursday morning. It's been a pretty nice day so far. This is meteorologist Aaron Colby filling in for Wesley today. And looking at the Hancock-Whitney camera over in Gulfport, things fantastic out there. Most of us started off the day in the 40s this morning, and we have a couple of passing clouds, but overall we do have a really nice day ahead. Not much change from yesterday, just a little bit cooler as a matter of fact. Let's go ahead and look at the temperature right now. It's 51 at the Gulfport Airport as of 8:30, and winds currently calm. Dew point in the 40s, nice and dry out there. And of course, that's heat index at 51 since the dew point and the temperature are very, very far apart at the moment. Let's go ahead and take a look at our temperatures out there right now. As of 8:30, you can see some of us are still lingering in the 40s. Most of us have found our way into the low to mids, even some of us in the upper 50s already, heating up fairly quickly. Let me back this up a little bit to right before the sun came up. Low temperatures across the area. Most of us did make it into about the mid to lower 40s. It feels great out there. Now, remember, these numbers here are at the top of each half hour, so there are many spots that actually got lower than the numbers here. Of course, we get the actual climate data comes in every day at 5 p.m. in the afternoon. That way we can get an official high and low. So we'll have to wait a few hours before we confirm. But no, at the Gulfport airports, it does look like we may have gotten all the way down to 46 this morning. So that would be the coldest morning in, over 100 days, all the way going back to May. Let's go ahead and take a look at the drought monitor. Of course, it is a Thursday morning. The drought monitor updates every Thursday. It takes into account all rainfall from Tuesday to Tuesday, of course, the week previous to the current week's Tuesday. And, not much has changed. As a matter of fact, I don't think they have updated this part of the country at all because there's really no need to make any changes. We've gotten a little bit of rain. Back the storms on Sunday did bring about an inch or so of rain to some spots, so not enough to put an end to any drought conditions, but thankfully it is enough to prevent the drought from getting worse. So that's a big plus there as we go through the next couple of days. Of course, more rainfall on the forecast, especially as we go into the weekend and early next week. So we'll have to keep an eye on those totals, hopefully get some improvement across the area. Here's what our pattern looks like. We're nice and very dry, pretty much cloud-free with just a couple of upper-level clouds passing through, high pressure nearby, and this is going to be moving to the east throughout the day as well. So you will be noticing that the winds will start to turn a little bit by the midday hours. We'll get those winds out of the east, and as that high pressure system continues to move off eastwards, eventually this afternoon and evening we'll get those winds to start coming out of the southeast. And in terms of the forecast for the next, today and tomorrow, pretty much copy and paste. We're going to be seeing those clear skies, a couple of passing clouds. Most of us should stay below 80 degrees throughout the afternoon hours. Now, of course, a few of us could go over, but overall, we're expecting a pretty nice, cool day tomorrow. Better chance at getting over 80 during those afternoon hours. Southeast winds now could get a little breezy this afternoon, around 5 to 10 miles per hour. That breeze will start to increase as we head into the weekend with an approaching system, and I've got more on that here in just a second. Those rain chances, as that system does approach, we'll start to really see those rain chances bump on up. Those couple scattered showers possible on Saturday. By Sunday, a little bit more widespread, some hit or miss showers, a couple of thunderstorms could work their way in there, and I'll have more on that here shortly. Rain chances will linger into the week before another cold front makes it in towards the end of the week. And that one looks like it could be a pretty cold one. Let's talk about those winds. Of course, going into tomorrow evening, winds will really start to ramp on up. Winds around 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the southeast, gusts around 15 to 20. That'll start to really increase as we go into Saturday. This is very early Saturday morning, about 2 o'clock in the morning. You can see right there, winds around 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusts 20 to 25 miles per hour. Our offshore areas. If you do have plans to be offshore Saturday morning, conditions are going to be very choppy, could be dangerous at times with wind gusts around 30 miles per hour or more as we go into the day on Saturday. Of course, continuing to see those winds accelerate as we go into the late hours of Saturday. This is 6 p.m. Saturday. And, well, we have the potential for winds, sustained winds, around 20 miles per hour, gusts 25 to 30. Very breezy day there. Once again, still out of the southeast with the approaching rain system. It's still in the long-range model, so not a very detailed look at what the systems could look like. But in general, what we're still keeping an eye out for Sunday is going to be what we consider the warm sector of this system. Now, that is defined as, let me get my pointer here, with this area in between the warm front and the cold front, that is known as the warm sector. That's where we're going to be seeing the highest potential for ingredients to line up, give us those scattered to widespread showers, a couple of thunderstorms. If ingredients do line up correctly, then some of these storms, especially along the coast and especially along the front, could be on the stronger side. The risk for severe weather at the moment is fairly low, but as we learn more, as we get more fine-tuned details from our other forecast models, then that risk may go up. We're going to keep a close eye on this, but overall, just some scattered showers, a couple thunderstorms possible. This is mainly going to be during the day on Sunday. Let's go ahead and keep on moving forward. Let's talk about that next system further down the line. A much stronger cold front on the way in towards the end of next week. That one looks like it could be our first really big shot at getting a cold, really cold air down into all the way down to the coast. Now, of course, in terms of temperatures, we can't really throw exact numbers out there. The long-term models are pointing at maybe morning temperatures in the 40s all the way to the coast, just a little bit cooler than the one that we did have yesterday and this morning. But overall, we could be looking at the potential for a pretty chilly Halloween. So if you're looking forward for those colder temperatures around Halloween time, this might be a good chance at that. Let's talk about the tropics real quick. Of course, Tropical Storm Melissa is still out there. It is starting to get a little bit more organized. It has been dealing with a lot of wind shear at the moment, so it's been very slow to organize. But there is some concern that this could be a threat for the Caribbean. The really good news from this, for us here in South Mississippi, is that there is way too much wind shear in the Gulf. This is not going to be turning north. That is really good news for us here in the Gulf, and I'm going to show you why. The jet stream is currently positioned in a location where you have this big dip in the jet stream, that big trough over Florida. Let me go ahead and grab my pointer again, and I can show you exactly where that is. That big dip right here going over Miami, that's a trough, and that stops storms from really being able to turn north. Storms, like we've seen throughout hurricane season, they really like to turn north out ahead of these troughs. This one is already passing the system, therefore it does not have that ability to turn north right now. So it's going to be stuck there in the Caribbean. You can also see a weak high pressure system over the Central America. That flow is also going to back off of the system as well. There's the what is currently Melissa right here. And it's kind of caught in this steering pattern where it can't really follow either one. It's kind of caught in between. And that is going to allow it to just kind of sit in the Caribbean. The only bad thing about that is that, well, extremely warm waters are out in this area. We haven't really had any tropical activity in that region all season long. So it is extremely favorable for this storm to intensify fairly quickly. That is why the National Hurricane Center on the current cone, very, very slow motion because of the weak steering patterns, and look how quickly it does intensify. Expected to become a major hurricane as it very slowly moves over those warm waters. As of right now, the National Hurricane Center expecting peak strength around Category 4. But look at this. This is the entire 5-day cone, and it is barely moving from that location. So a very, very slow moving storm with the potential to be fairly strong, especially our friends over in the Caribbean, Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, some parts of Central America. We need to be watching that very, very closely. That very slow motion tends to be very unpredictable, especially in terms of when it can finally turn, when it can finally get out of that pattern. Definitely something to keep an eye on, but once again, very high wind shear in the Gulf means that this is not a concern for us at all. Definitely our friends in the Caribbean need to be paying very, very close attention to this over the next few days. Let's go back to South Mississippi. Let's head over to the 7-day forecast. We look fantastic the next several days. Thursday, Friday, today and tomorrow, pretty much crystal clear skies, a couple passing clouds. By tomorrow afternoon, some of us may work our way back up into the lower 80s during the afternoon, but we're going to stay nice and dry. Humidity really starts to return on Saturday. Couple hit or miss showers possible, as well as that very breezy conditions from the southeast. Then by Sunday, that system arrives, bringing us some showers, a couple thunderstorms, maybe a few strong storms. So we'll keep an eye on that one for once we get within that more close range forecast. Once we're about 2 to 3 days out is when we can really get honed in on more of those details on what to expect. Next week, overall, looking very similar to this week, very low rain chances. The potential for temperatures to be right around 80 degrees, and then that next big cold front on the horizon just outside of our 7-day forecast. That would be about Wednesday or Thursday of next week. Really good chance of getting us into that much cooler feel heading into Halloween. Of course, but for now, overall, really nice forecast. Sunday, you definitely want the umbrellas, and keep your ears tuned for any thunder. If you hear thunder, when thunder roars, get indoors.
It's time for Waking Up with Wesley. Today's forecast and weather-wide discussion with WLOX.
Waking Up with Wesley has been sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.